Hi, this is David with entry number 610, something like that. So today is it is Thursday, and it's now been, I think, 4 days since my sister's been back, which has been good. Gotten to see her and talk with her and see what's going on. This is a cool leather studio. Never seen one of those before. And then on this road, I noticed that there were like 4 of them. So maybe this is like some kind of like leather studio, like mecca or something. So like I was saying, it's been good to catch up with my sister, and it's always kind of interesting to talk with another person, whoever it may be, as at the moment, this point in my life, I'm not exactly having a lot of, I guess, conversation, regardless of the subject matter being stimulus or not, period, full stop. Not a lot of conversation is happening right now. But to that regard, I thought I was thinking about various things over the last 48 hours, obviously. And one thing that kind of caught my mind is the kind of a central point of me as a character, as a human, and as kind of an individual, has been kind of this I've been thinking about kind of what makes kind of a person or unique, or what gives them kind of the innate ability to be an individual, or like what's that characteristic or whatever that separates you from being like other people. And this is a fish restaurant that's very popular at the moment. It smells very strongly of mackerel, which is a very oily, fishy smell. But so I've been having some issues with my roommate, and I think if you were to ask my roommate if we were having any issues, I don't think he would say we are, but because I'm trying to be a good roommate, I haven't really brought them up at all. And this is something that you should not do, because for various reasons look at this right here. See this? Do you see this? This is basil. Someone hid it here. For various reasons. You shouldn't do this, because it makes you resent, and all these like negative things happen, and they're starting to kind of occur within me. And so there are a lot of small things that I'll get into now, but as any dam will tell you, it's the small things that add up to become very big problems. So there are things like courtesy that I think most people have like a pretty good grip on courtesy, like they know you should be nice, and you should kind of maybe have some sympathy for other people, or at least pretend to. And for me, like a lot of it is, to be honest, pretend, but things like doing dishes, leaving dishes out, and then I'll do all the dishes in the sink, and then and they're all his, because I always do my own dishes. And then he'll like basically he won't say anything, and he'll just basically act like he did all the dishes himself without any regard to like he won't give me a thank you or whatever. And like I'm not doing his dishes to get a thank you. I'm doing them because I can't stand the dirty sink, but I'm one of those people. And so like I'm doing them because I want to do them, not because I want to thank you. But it's still one of those things where it's like common courtesy would suggest and kind of dictate that you say thank you to someone that does you a favor. And this whole last couple weeks, in fact, I've been doing all of his dishes for him, and he hasn't thrown me a single goddamn bone. Which is, I'm not saying, I'm not saying that it's like a big deal, but it's kind of like a small thing. It's kind of manufactured, or how do you say it? It's kind of grown into a bit of an issue for me, and that's just one kind of like piece of the puzzle that's been growing, but just things, just behaviors and strange attitudes that I don't understand, where it's kind of like, if you're like a middle-aged human, whether you be a man or a woman, there's certain expectations that I think, like certain characteristics you should have adopted by the time you're in your mid 30s, your midlife or whatever. And I'm not really seeing this individual kind of exhibit any of these changes, this kind of maturity or growth. I see a lot of like young, like immature characteristics, and like I fully accept that people grow at different times and people kind of prioritize where they want to put their focuses and everything, but it's kind of sad to me because you have someone who's older now and they have nothing. They still act like a child. And I think like 40, 50, 60 years ago, if you had a situation kind of like this, that person would be like cast out and forgotten in society, or at least they'd be judged very heavily. And as a society, as a American society, we thought that it was a good idea to stop judging people, and somewhere along the line this became so exaggerated that other people got the idea that because they're not being judged anymore, they can just act however they want, when in fact you can't just act however you want, because it ruins society. And I'm kind of a self-governing type, and I've always been that way, and I don't really know how to live without this kind of discipline. So maybe that's me kind of judging too much. I suppose it is, but it is very interesting to see someone who is so kind of immature at an older age. And I know that's kind of not something that is, extremely rare or whatever, but it is something that I take pause thinking about, because I just don't understand how it's really possible. But I guess I should buckle down and kind of expect to see more and more of these kind of individuals in my life, people who have somehow kind of skated by without having to mature, kind of like a really old apple tree that has lived in the dark and never produced apples, or the apples that produce are small and tasteless. It's something that I just don't really understand. Maybe it's not my place to understand, but it is something that I find very interesting in my life. So anyway, I'll wrap it up there. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk with you soon. Bye.